Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech. So today, we're going to be talking about Golgari zombies in Pioneer. I'm really excited to bring the list to you. As always, before we hop into the video, let me know in the comment section below, after the video, do you like the list, do you hate it, what would you change? And as always, if there's any suggestions that you have for upcoming videos, obviously let me know in the comment section below. Alright, Golgari zombies. So, a little bit of a disclaimer, there's not a lot of green cards that are going to be in the main board here, I'm just being honest, but the cards that are included are very, very, very good. Obviously, most zombies are black. There's not very many good zombies that are green for the most part. I'm sure a lot of people can guess why we're playing Golgari for the most part in the deck, but anyways, we're going to hop into the list here. Our 1-drops, we are playing 4 Champion of the Perished and 4 Cryptbreaker. Obviously, Champion of the Perished is, I would even argue, the best card in the deck. It's the zombie version of Champion of the Perish. Champion of the Perish is absolutely insane. Whenever another zombie enters, it gets a 1/1 counter, which is fantastic. It's very, very aggressive, gets really big, really fast, out of control, and our opponents just die to it, simply put. Champion of the Perish is an absolutely insane card. We're also playing 4 Cryptbreakers. Cryptbreaker is very good overall. It's definitely not as aggressive for the most part, but obviously being able to discard irrelevant cards in our hand and make zombies is fantastic. And obviously we can tap 3 untapped zombies and draw a card and lose a life, which is also a very, very good effect. You know, all the zombies we're not attacking with, we can just draw cards with them, which is just great. So Cryptbreaker, definitely very, very good. Then we're hopping into our 2-drops. We're playing 4 Lazotep Reaver. So Lazotep Reaver, on the surface, does not seem like it's that great of a card. Believe me, 1/2 for 2 and it enters a mass 1. It seems underwhelming, but when you play the card, you realize how powerful this card is. So, for an example, Champion of the Perish on turn 1. Turn 2 Lazotep Reaver, that's 2 zombies entering, which trigger Champion of the Perish twice. So we're attacking for 3 with Champion of the Perish. Then the next turn, we play a Zombie Lord, which, spoiler alert, we got some really good Zombie Lords in this deck. We play a Zombie Lord, bam, trigger Champion of the Perish again, and our Lazotep Reaver and the Army token are each getting additional boosts from that. So Lazotep Reaver doesn't seem that good, but it is a very, very good card once you actually play it in the deck. So, all right, we're going to head to our rest of our 2-drops here. We're playing 2 Relentless Dead. Relentless Dead, very good card in Magic overall. Not a lot of people that don't play zombies know what this card really does, just because it has so many different abilities. So when it dies, you may pay a black if you do return to its owner's hand. When it dies, you may pay X if you do return another target zombie creature card with CMC X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So definitely when we have a bunch of mana, Relentless Dead can do some very, very good things. Obviously, keep returning to our hand, and then also start reanimating some other zombies when it dies. So, Relentless Dead, definitely a very, very good card in the deck. So, one of the most underrated cards, I think, in this deck is Razor Lash Transmigrant. We're playing 4 copies of it just because it's that good. So the way I look at it is it's kind of like a Scrap Heap Scrounger from years past. It's a 3/1 for 2 that can't block. Then we tap 4 black, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. This ability costs 4 less to activate if an opponent controls 4 or more non-basic lands. So, obviously, great thing about Pioneer, all decks are going to have a ton of non-basic lands, even the monocolor decks. Like, for instance, like Mono Green Devotion, they're playing Lair of the Hydra, they're playing, they're usually playing like 1 Overgrown Tomb sometimes, most of the time. They're also playing, obviously, Nykthos, which is pretty obviously a very great land. So, even against the monocolor decks, we're still going to have a lot of opportunity to bring this back for only 2 black mana. If we're playing against a 2-color deck, like obviously, they're playing the shock lands, the flip lands, the fast lands, the pain lands, they're playing man lands, they're playing so many different lands that we're almost always going to be able to bring this back for only 2 black mana. So, Razor Lash Transmigrant, very, very underrated card in this deck. I'm a huge fan of this card in general. So obviously this is not a 2-drop, but we're also playing 2 Murderous Riders. Murderous Rider, obviously just a really great card. We have the Swift End, part of the adventure, obviously destroying a creature. Planeswalker is very, very good. And the other side, we get a 2/3 lifelink, and then when it dies, put on the bottom of its owner's library. Just a good card in general. Obviously, a card that's going to be on our feature slide is half the reason we're playing it. It's a removal spell and a creature in one that we can hit with a very certain specific 4-mana instant. Little spoilers on that. So, anyways, we're going to hop into our other 3-drops here, which are definitely the most powerful cards in the deck besides the Champion of the Parish. We're playing 4 Lord of the Accursed and 4 Death Barons as our lords. Lord of the Cursed, obviously, being able to tap a 1 and a black, tap it to give zombies menace is a very, very good effect. Surprisingly, I use this ability a lot more than I thought I was going to. It seems like late game, a lot of the time, once we start getting a handful of zombies out, every single turn I just start giving all the zombies menace, and it just kills our opponent, just because obviously they have to put 2 creatures in front of 1, which definitely, you know, it's just a really, really good rate. So Lord of the Accursed, very underrated, also doesn't die to Stomp, which is great because it's a 2/3. Our other Lord, Death Baron, is also a very, very fantastic lore for this deck. You know, it's only a 2/2, so it does die to Stomp, but still has a very good effect. It gives our zombies +1/+1 and Death Touch. So the Death Touch, very, very good against opposing aggro decks, for sure, just because they're trading all their creatures no matter what with ours because of Death Baron. So Death Baron is very, very good. Also, a little side note, I remember when I first started playing, this card like never got reprinted and was like very, very expensive, which I find pretty funny. So now obviously it's like a $1.50 card, which is obviously fantastic for us. So our last 3-drop that we're playing is Glissa Sunslayer. So what's really, really great about this is when I was building this deck, I was looking for green zombies to play in our deck and found out that Glissa is a zombie. And immediately I'm like, yes, we are playing Glissa Sunslayers in this deck. It's a 3/3 for 1 black green. First strike Death Touch. When it deals combat damage to a player, choose 1. You draw a card and lose 1 life, destroy an enchantment, or remove 3 counters from target permanent. So Glissa, absolutely fantastic. I've talked a lot about Glissa in the past. I've also talked about it in my recent video, Top 10 Underrated Cards in Pioneer. You should definitely check that out, but Glissa was on that list just because Glissa is so good. If you're playing Golgari in Pioneer, you should just be playing Glissa. I don't care what deck you're playing, the card is just that good. Most of the time, our opponent's not going to want to block it, just because, you know, I mean, unless they want to feed a token to it. So that way we're going to be drawing a lot of cards with this. Obviously, on defense, it's really good because of First Strike and Death Touch. Our opponent doesn't want to attack into it. So Glissa Sunslayer, absolutely fantastic card in the deck. So finishing out our deck list here in the main board, we're playing 3 Power Word kills and 4 Collected Companies, which again, everybody figured we were probably playing Collected Company in the deck. Power Word kill, just a really good removal spell. You can change it depending on what your local metagame looks like. You know, if there's a lot of angels, demons, devils, and dragons in your metagame, you could switch it to, like, Go for the Throat. At least for my local metagame, I decided to use Power Word Kill instead. And then Collected Company, obviously fantastic for any low-to-the-ground aggro deck, and this deck is no exception. You know, we're able to put some really silly creatures into play with the Collected Company. Obviously, Lords, Champion of the Parish, a Glissa. Man, imagine our opponent attacking, we just go Collected Company, Lord Glissa, block with Glissa. Like, wow, that is an absolute blowout. So, but anyways, that is our entire main board, except for our lands here, which we're going to fly through those real quick. We're playing 4 Blooming Marsh, 4 Overgrown Tomb, and 4 Darkboar Pathway. Obviously, just staple dual lands of the format. We're also playing 1 Takenuma and 1 Beseiju. Obviously, just the good channel lands from Kamigawa. They're free. Why wouldn't we play them, obviously? Also playing 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Just a really good mono-black man land that we can play. Fortunately, it's not a zombie. It is a Beholder. But you know what? Still a fantastic card. Rounding out our lands, we're playing 2 Mutavaults, obviously fantastic, because this, for 1, we can turn away 2/2 with all creature types, which means that it gets all of the buffs from all of our lords, which is awesome. So, Mutavault, definitely a very, very good card in the deck. Then we're playing 5 Swamps as our spicy land of the day. I decided to play this really, really nice looking Innistrad Swamp. You know, I could definitely see Champion of the Parish, you know, when it's not in combat. I could see it just hanging out in the swamp, definitely on Innistrad. So very, very cool art indeed. So, all right, we are done with the main board. We just have to talk about our sideboard. We're playing 2 Tormod's Crypts, obviously great against graveyard decks. I talk about this card a lot. It's just great. It destroys graveyard decks. Any graveyard deck in the format you're playing against, bring it in. 2 Damping Spheres, obviously good against the Mono Green Devotion decks and the Lotus Field combo decks, both very good at stopping what they're trying to do. We're also playing 3 Ray of Enfeeblement, very good removal spell for a number of decks. Obviously, you know, you're going to bring it in if your opponent's playing a lot of white creatures, which would be like Mono White Humans is very, very good against. Also very good against Greasefang, because Greasefang is white. For 1 mana, we can destroy their Greasefang. So definitely very, very good against those decks as well. We're also playing 4 Thoughtseize. We pretty much bring this in against Really anything that's not aggro. You know, against mid-range, there's definitely an argument for it, but definitely we want it against control and combo decks. Thoughtseize definitely just very, very, very good sideboard card for sure. Arguably could be in the main board, but because we are a Eclectic Company deck, I decided to put him in the sideboard. We're also playing 2 Necromenches. Very good against decks that are playing a very linear card that we can just get right out of their deck, so that way it's a lot harder for them to win. You could bring this in against like mono green and name Nykthos, or even like Cavalier Thorns. If there's a specific combo deck, you know, name the combo piece, get them all out, so that way it's a lot harder for them to win. Necromentia, just a very, very good card in general for the black sideboard. Then rounding out our sideboard, we're playing 2 Assassin's Trophies. Simply put, Assassin's Trophy destroys any permanent. If there's any problematic permanents that we really need to destroy in the matchup, we just bring in the Assassin's Trophies. Obviously, you know, they do get a basic land when they destroy it, but that's fine. Assassin's Trophy is still just that good. So that is the entire deck. That is Golgari Zombies. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. This is a very, very fun deck to build. I know I built a mono black zombies list. I didn't share it on the channel here, and I decided, you know, I need to make this Golgari to get Glissa and Eclectic Company in the deck. And overall, I think it's going to play really, really well. So let me know in the comment section below. What do you like about the list? What do you hate? What would you change? Is there a zombie that I forgot to put in the deck? Just let me know. I know there's definitely some good zombies I didn't put in here, but, you know, talk to me. Why should I put them in the deck? So I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.